Let's talk about social anxiety, or being shy in social situations. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm sure we've all experienced it, where we are part of like a group setting, or we're going into a new group setting and we feel very scared, or we feel shy about it, or we feel anxious about it to the point where we don't want to go, or we're scared of what other people may think of us. As for an example, like starting a new exercise class or something like that, where you might be scared that people are going to judge you and look at you. You're going to have bad form. You're not going to be able to keep up with the class. You're comparing yourself to the people around you who are in better shape than you. And, you feel kind of like you almost don't want to go. You do want to go, but you almost don't want to go because the fear is just creeping in, the anxiety. What will people think of me? Will I sprain my ankle, or will I have really bad form where everybody's going to look at me and laugh at me? So how do you get past it? How do you get past this anxiety or this fear you feel in these group settings, in new group settings? The first thing is to recognize whether you're actually having social anxiety or whether you're just a shy person. So the difference is, somebody who is shy, that's kind of like ingrained in your characteristic traits, right? So if you're shy, chances are you're shy in a new setting or situation around new people. But usually the shyness will tame, or it will go away as you get more comfortable with the people around you, or the setting, or the class, or the teacher, or something like that. Social anxiety, on the other hand, is a little harder to deal with because it affects your ability to go out and function. For a lot of people, it can become very serious, where they will use avoidance, or they'll use kind of like escaping mechanisms to get away from a social situation, because the anxiety boils up so much in their bodies where they almost freeze in the moment. So you have to recognize whether you're just being a little shy because the surroundings around you are uncomfortable, or whether you're actually going through a type of social anxiety, which is a little more chronic, a little more serious for you, where it's not going to go away necessarily as you get more comfortable, as you keep attending the class, or you may not attend the class at all because you feel so much anxiety around it. How do you get past, whether you're shy or whether you do have anxiety around something like that? Well, the first thing is to come face to face with the monster and recognize that the monster it's inside of you. It's inside of your head. It's something you've created from yourself. And a lot of times, if you come face to face with the monster, you realize that it's not really a monster at all. See, the hard part is coming face to face with it, because we create these images in our heads, these giant monster. I'll use this example. If you can picture this image in your head that you're creating of this evil ogre, green slimy monster thing that is going to just rock your world and just ruin everything about you. That is an image that you have created yourself. If you realize that the future has not happened, and this is what you're projecting some sort of monster is going to attack you in your future, but you can't put a label on it. See, it's almost like we are imagining something that we can't quite describe, but it just gives us anxiety, right? But we have to come face to face with it to realize that it's not so bad after all. And that is the difficult part for people. Something you can do, or a couple things you can do, you can imagine the worst case scenario. What is the worst thing that could possibly happen in this group setting for you? Is it that you're going to sprain your ankle? Is it that somebody's going to stare at you or look at you, or is it that somebody's going to, what is the worst case, the worst possible thing that could happen? If you focus on that, you will probably realize that you will not die, okay? You will not, chances are the worst thing that could possibly happen is not so bad after all. Or it might be like uncomfortable for you, but it's not going to lead to your death, or it's not going to lead to something that really, 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 really is bad. See, a lot of times we just have this fear, but until you put some sort of something with the fear, something tangible with the fear, it's just going to be this fear, this untangible thing, this abstract thing that you can't really pinpoint. Again, this monster, this blob of nothing that's not concrete. So you have to make something concrete. You have to actually think up, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? Then think of what is the best thing that could happen. What is the best thing? You're going to have a great time. You're going to meet new people. You're going to come out feeling accomplished or feeling really awesome, after you've attended this thing, whether it's a class or exercise thing. Your best case scenario. What is the best thing that could happen? Then after you do that, choose. You get to choose whether you want the worst case scenario or the best case scenario to happen. Okay, you get to choose whether this monster is an ugly two-headed monster or whether it's a friendly monster. You get to choose, you really do. So why you have to put your attention and your focus on the best case scenario or a good scenario. Okay, because if you let your thoughts go to the worst case scenario, which we often like to do because we fear failure, we fear all kinds of things in our lives, and our brains just run with it. So if you can focus on the best case scenario and choose it, then that's going to help you out overcome this anxiety that you're feeling. So choosing the best case scenario is focusing on your end goal. So not focusing on the class itself and what are people going to think of you and things like that. Put all of your focus and attention on your end goal. What are you trying to get out of this class? How will it make you better? How will it make you improve? Focus on your growth, why you're taking it in the first place. So you have to shift your focus from feeling like you're going to fail in the moment of what you're doing to the end goal. What is the end goal? What is in sight? What motivated you to want to do this? And put all of your attention there. And recognizing that anybody who starts anything new is not usually good at it. I mean, you cannot get good at something. You cannot repeat something. You cannot do something unless you try something new. And trying something new, it's going to pull you out of your comfort zone. Absolutely 100%. Because it's new. Our brain has not come in contact with it yet. We haven't processed it yet. It's new, but if you recognize that anything new is really going to help you out and help your brain out and help your just your ability to grow as a human being, to evolve as a human being, and you focus on that end goal, the end result, rather than getting through all these steps and feeling like, oh, you're torture, or you're going to look bad and things like that. That is just you comparing yourself to other people. And chances are other people may feel just as awkward, and other people may want to either help you get better, because that's what people like to do, or people will really respect you for growing as a human being, because that person knows that when they started, they were not good either. They were not perfect, and nobody is perfect at what they're doing anyway. They have their own flaws. So you have to shift the perspective on, focusing on the end goal, okay? Focusing on a good scenario rather than always thinking on the failing side or how bad you're going to look to other people, and recognizing that people are going to respect you for growing and wanting to grow. And the more you get comfortable in a situation, you'll realize that there is no monster. The monster is inside your head. It's how you're reacting to things. And the last thing is to be present. Okay, so I say this in like almost all my videos. You have to be present in in your surroundings. The more present you are in your surroundings, the less you're going to be in that inner screen of your mind and always thinking of the worst and always being in this worry state, obsession state. See, obsession is it's something that our brain just goes to. You know, it starts with like a minor worry or a minor fear, but then it goes to obsession. The obsession is the extreme of the fear, of the worry, of the anxiety. Okay, and once you become obsessed, then it can become a chronic obsession, and then it can affect every time you try something new or go to a class, because your brain is going to remember these patterns. It's going to take it's going to run with it. Because again, it's the comfort zone. Your brain is going to form connections around that fear. And it's going to connect these classes and anything new with that fear, with what you're actually physically experiencing from the fear, from the fight or flight, and from, you know, you getting sweaty palms, and you getting, you know, shallow breathing, and all the physical things that go along with the mental emotional stuff, with the thoughts and the feelings. You know, you have the thoughts and you have the feelings, you have the fear and anxiety, and that's going to turn to the physical responses of your body. And your body is going to remember that. Your brain is going to remember that. So every time you come into a similar situation or around similar big group of people, you're always going to experience the same thing, because your body has now been trained. Your brain has now been trained to respond in that way. So to get yourself you have to retrain yourself to respond in a different way, to react in a different way. And it starts from your thoughts, okay, from that initial reaction. So if you have the initial reaction, you're feeling fear, a little bit of worry, you have to take control of that before it gets to something like a chronic obsession, which is the extreme. If you're already in the chronic obsession state, then you have to do things to kind of untangle, or not so much untangle because you have the wiring in your brain already, but it's a matter of creating new circuits in your brain, new experiences in your brain, new responses. So coming face to face with the monster, really going outside of your comfort zone, it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's going outside your comfort zone. So it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. But each time you do it, it's going to get a little less uncomfortable, a little less uncomfortable, a little less uncomfortable, until it becomes almost like ingrained in you. Because again, you're creating those new pathways in your brain, the new connections, which are now saying, okay, I have this little bit of fear, anxiety, worry, but I'm now going to respond in a different way, which is retraining yourself. So the more you keep responding in a different way, the more you keep retraining yourself, the more you keep retraining yourself, and the easier it becomes down the line. See, at first it feels very, very hard. It feels very uncomfortable because we always want to revert back to our comfort zone. You know, we just want to survive. As human beings, we have natural defensive mechanisms within us, our survival mode, right? We fight or we flight, and we try to escape, or we try to avoid, or we try to do anything to protect ourselves from harm. And the harm is somebody judging us, or us feeling stupid or embarrassed about something, or feeling judged. And that is the harm. That is the harm that we're going to feel. But if we can recognize and really envision what is the worst case scenario? What is the worst thing that's going to happen? Somebody's going to look at me. Is that really going to ruin my day? I mean, I can let it ruin my day, but is it really going to ruin my day? Is it really going to prevent me from living my life or functioning as a human being? If you let it, it will. But if you don't let it, and you realize that, okay, this is not going to kill me, I'm not going to lose a limb here or anything like that. At least I hope you don't. And, so you have to really change the initial reaction, how you're responding. So that's all I got today about social anxiety. I have it too, group settings, stuff like that. It can be difficult I also have like phone anxiety, you know, so maybe I'll do a different video on that, because that's something a lot of people have, like answering the phone and calling people and stuff like that. That's legit too. So let me know if you guys want me to do a video on that. I will, absolutely. Other than that, if you have not subscribed below, please subscribe. I put out a video every single morning, and I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. So have a great day, everyone. Peace.